Welcome to the 3 steps to leave the narcissist. I am your host, Dr. Onalee, and I'm here to help you come back home to yourself after being in narcissistic relationships. The first thing I want to share is do not get too caught up in what you are labeling this person. This also is not a diagnosis. This is a way to describe somebody's behavior that is unhealthy. What I want to focus on is unhealthy. If this person is not healthy for you, if you feel like you are not chosen, you are not respected, you are not loved, you are not cared for, you are not valued, this is what I want you to focus on more than wondering if they are a narcissist, if they are an avoidant, why they are the way that they are. You can see the reason they do the things they do. I want to focus on what within you has been attracted or is staying a little too long in a relationship that is very unhealthy for you. I also am not suggesting that you leave your husband, leave your wife, anything like that. You are going to have to be discerning of what you do. I'm going to give you all of my information, all of my knowledge that I have around how to leave them and how to also emotionally get them off of your mind. The reason I am so passionate about this work is because of my own addiction and experience with narcissistic relationships. I saw therapist after therapist, I saw coach after coach. It was all that I wanted to resolve, and nothing was helping, nothing was working. I would find myself in a narcissistic relationship with somebody who had completely opposite behaviors as the previous narcissist. I could not figure it out. And once I did, I really realized and accepted that this is like an addiction. Logically, I know that these relationships aren't healthy for me, but yet somehow I keep being attracted to somebody. My answer, my solution of what I personally did in order to fully recover from these narcissistic relationships is in my 4 step No More Narcissist Recovery program. At the end of this, I am going to give you a promo code that's going to last 48 hours if you decide that you want to come join. There also is an option to work with me one on one and maybe a group, depending at the time you're listening to this recording. But that is what I needed to do to finally break this addiction after so much coaching and so much therapy. So if you've been praying for the solution and you also feel like nothing's working, this course is very, very powerful. I'll tell you more about it at the end. About 6 years ago, I was living with a narcissist, and I came home one day after we were intimate that morning, and he moved out. No warning, no nothing, moved right along into the next relationship. I obviously was devastated from this, but some reason I got led to more information about narcissistic people, and I realized that this person checked all of the boxes. I was in a textbook narcissistic relationship with somebody where I felt like I was going crazy. I was being completely gaslit. This person was always projecting onto me. I had gained 20 pounds. I was getting constant infections. I was doubting myself. I had no energy. I was depressed. I had anxiety. My body was reacting. And that was what set me on this journey to fully recover. And so now, what I would say is that I have helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people recover from these kind of relationships. Because when you really realize the reason why you're attracted to narcissistic people, you'll realize that the solution is pretty simple. The solution is really learning how to love yourself and come home to yourself and get into connection with your higher power, whatever you choose to call it. A spiritual experience is what happens. Stepping into knowing that you're worthy and deserving of good and a healthy relationship is what you want to get to if you want to become narcissist proof. So, right now, what I'm going to share is my 3 key steps on how to leave this relationship and how to stop being attracted to narcissists and how to stop allowing them to take up space, take up room, take up rent in your head without having to pay. The first step is the hardest step, but it is to accept and decide that you are done and you realize that they are a narcissist. Again, you're not diagnosing them. That's not the whole point. The point is to really understand that this person is not healthy for you and they're not going to change. The reason I've seen so many people, and myself including, get sucked back into the cycle with the narcissist over and over and over again is because there's still doubt, that this person is narcissistic, or there's still hope that this person is going to change. The reason you might be holding on to hope of it changing is because you saw glimpses of how this person could be, especially in the beginning. But if you have an insecurity that something you did or something about you wasn't good enough and that's why they changed, you will hold on for dear life, hoping to change their mind and hoping to go back to how it was in the beginning. I make it super clear, especially in my program, that the beginning wasn't real. This is something I know a lot of people have a hard time accepting. But the more that you think that it's your fault of why that this person changed, the more that you're going to hold on to this relationship and keep getting hurt and bit and disrespected and lied to and cheated on and gaslit and ghosted. I want to help prevent you experiencing any more of that. I want to help prevent you from being attracted to these kind of relationships. And the best way to do that is to decide and accept and know that this is not a healthy relationship for you and that you deserve better. It's going to require you to give up all of the hope and realize you've spent months, you've spent years hoping this person will change or at least go back to how they were in the beginning, and it never did. Maybe for 5 minutes it did, but it always went back to how they were once they got you. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you're either in the love bomb, the hook, or the discard phase. Even within the relationship, if they don't break up with you, when you're in the discard phase, that's when they're cold, they're distant, they gaslight you, they do the reactive abuse, they try to get under your skin, they ignore you, they give you the silent treatment. They make you feel like you're not chosen, you're not special, you're not valued, you're not heard, you're not seen. And especially when you start to pull away, they start to move in because they never want to lose you. They get something out of you, they get some of their needs met from you. You might wonder why they don't treat you well or why they picked the new supply, but yet they still hold on to you or they stay with you or they keep coming back. That is because they know that they can use you. Narcissists use people. That is why we use the term supply. We don't even say the other man or the other woman. We say supply because they are not treating anybody like a decent human being. And that's something we really have to accept, is that they are not operating like normal, healthy people who have empathy and remorse and compassion. They do not have those traits and those characteristics. So the more that you're wanting them to be a person with compassion, remorse, and empathy, the more you're hurting yourself. It is like wanting to pet an alligator or a shark turn over and you being able to rub its tummy. A shark is a shark, an alligator is an alligator, a narcissist is a narcissist. So that's why I want to be tough love with you. I want to share this so you stop getting bit and hurt over and over and over again. And that's going to require doing the first step, being done and accepting they are a narcissist. Then you can move into step 2, which is where you finally take action. This is where you decide, are you going to continue on with this relationship or are you going to get out of it? Are you going to go no contact? Are you going to distance yourself? Are you going to close the door and say no more? My core wound, which I talk about in step 2 of the Normal Narcissist program, is that I never felt fully chosen by somebody I really wanted. If somebody chose me and made me feel like a queen, I would always get the ick. I was not attracted to them. I was only attracted to the person who didn't fully choose me. Of course, they chose me in the beginning and I felt that way. But when they stopped choosing me, that was my wound. That was my pattern. So I wanted them to choose me even more. I couldn't understand why they couldn't fully see me. And if they only saw me and if I only jumped through this hoop, if I only bent over backwards, then they would choose me. And I would exhaust and deplete myself when they still were not choosing me because I was only attracted to somebody who wasn't fully capable of choosing me. And what I will share with you in step 2 of the No More Narcissist program is that they were never meant to choose me because I actually deserved somebody so much better. But they were my character in my story to poke and prod at my own wound and insecurity and pattern of not being chosen so that I could finally break it. It needed to be painful and it needed to be right up in front of my face so I could finally do something about it. That pattern, that wound of not being chosen lived within me from a very long time, and it was not going to go anywhere until I faced it and I healed it, which is what you will do in step 2 of the No More Narcissist program if you choose to join us. So your job is, once you decide and accept they're a narcissist, is to take action on it. Most people don't take action because they have failed to fully decide and accept. They are still holding on to hope. You will move into step two when you've squashed all hope and you realize you don't want to waste any more of your life. You've already wasted years hoping and holding on to the belief that you will eventually get the dream relationship. When you can accept that you spent so much of your time with them and you never got the dream relationship, you will realize it's never going to be what you hoped it would be. And that's heartbreaking. You will feel some grief and some despair. I'm here to say this isn't going to feel like an amazing journey when you are really healing from these relationships. A lot of uncomfortable, painful emotions are going to rise to the surface. But I want to say that you are strong enough to handle them. You've handled a lot of pain in your life and a lot of abuse. You'll be able to handle the feelings. And if you need a coach, a therapist, or mentor to support you as you are navigating some of these hard, painful experiences, you can get that. On the other side of you closing the door and taking action and feeling the pain and letting it process and move through you and getting to the other side, you will feel that peace, that joy, that serenity, that love, which goes into the third step. Keeping that door fully closed, protecting your peace at all costs, no longer settling, saying no more. The moment somebody is condescending to you, you turn it down, you don't entertain it. So you might be working on your story of you are enough. You've seen your wound that's been running the show that you're not chosen, you're not enough, you're not worthy, somebody must be better. And when you get to step three, you're really healing that wound. And you're saying, I am enough and I am chosen and I am worthy. What happens is that there will be tests. Somebody will come into your life who makes you feel the opposite. And what you might want to do is go down the old rabbit hole and say, see, I am right. I'm not chosen. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Somebody's always better. And then you validate that old story, or you can see it as a test for what it is that you don't behave and react to that old story anymore. You don't entertain it. That's what's going to be required to fully leave the narcissist and to fully be done with these kind of relationships, is to not entertain them anymore. Because when you are feeling so secure and in your worth and you know that you're good enough, why would you ever want to entertain somebody who makes you feel less than? You feel a certain way within yourself, so you no longer need somebody to approve of you and love you and choose you and validate you. That's the old version of you, the one who was attracted to narcissist. But the one who's in their power and who feels secure and who's open and available for a healthy relationship, healthy dynamics, you won't tolerate anyone who brings you down. And so the real way to leave the narcissist, to become narcissist proof, to no longer be attracted, is to fully choose yourself and respect yourself and step into an abundance mentality that there are many people in the world and many people who would choose you and love you and respect you and treat you well. You do not need to hang on for dear life and get somebody to see your worth. That is the old version of you, and it stemmed from when you were a child. But now that you're a powerful adult with more emotional maturity and more evidence, more life experience, you've stepped into a new version, a new person. And I invite you to step further into being this new person who doesn't entertain or tolerate anyone treating you poorly. I invite you to not keep giving people the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again, to not talk yourself into making it work. That is operating out of a scarcity mentality, feeling like it has to work with this person who's so good on paper or so close to what you want. I share to not fall for the synchronicities. You might find many reasons of why this relationship works, but if this person is condescending to you, they're flaky to you, they ghost you, they lie, something feels off, you can be picky. This doesn't mean that you are superficial. It means that you are deciding to protect your peace and step into a healthy relationship. Trust me, if you're full on attracted to somebody, you won't have to worry about being picky. You will have your own common sense and discernment. I share to be picky because most people who get into narcissistic relationships or stay too long is because they weren't picky at all. They kept giving the person the benefit of the doubt. They kept forgiving them. They held on and held on and held on. When in hindsight, they could look back and they could ask themselves, why did I stay so long? Why did I do that? Why did I ignore the red flags? Why did I paint them green? It was all out of insecurity, low self-worth, and scarcity mentality. It has to work with this person. If it doesn't work with this person, it's not going to work with anybody. Abundance mentality is if it doesn't work with this person and they're not fully treating me right, I'm going to be okay and secure on my own, but I can still be open and available for somebody to come in. One of the things I see with step 3 is that they might have already done step 2 where they said no more and they took the action, but in step 3, they're still ruminating. They're still obsessing. The reason you're doing that is because you want to feel some sort of connection. You want to feel some sort of control as well. You're also trying to feel a sensation in your body. I have a whole 30-minute bonus masterclass in the No More Narcissist program on how to stay away and stop obsessing. You are addicted to the feelings that go off in your body when you think about them on repeat and you keep playing the tape or you keep checking their page to see when they were last active on WhatsApp or Messenger, or you keep peeking and looking over at the new supplies page. You're obsessing, you're ruminating because you want to feel something. And so, what I want to help you with moving forward is that you can create sensations in your body that feel good and create connection without needing to source it in an unhealthy way. The thing I will share with you right now on this masterclass is to really not need to source it in an unhealthy way and to reach back out to them or be checking up on them. But be kind with yourself, be gentle with yourself if you do catch yourself obsessing and ruminating. It's not an overnight fix. And the more that you beat yourself up for it, the longer you perpetuate it. And so if this is resonating, you can really sit here and say you're in a narcissistic relationship, or you just closed the door on a narcissistic relationship, or at the very least, a situationship, and avoidance, somebody who's emotionally unavailable, not healthy, not good for you. If you can sit here and identify with this, and you are wanting and willing to do the work to get the solution, to move towards that freedom, that happiness, that peace, that security within you, that high self-worth, that confidence, and not in an arrogant way, in a way where you know that you matter and you respect yourself accordingly, where you finally start to choose yourself, to know your value. If you're ready to learn the steps and the process of what I did myself and what I've helped hundreds of people do, that is what we're going to do in the No More Narcissist program. It is a self-study program. There is a Facebook community, but for the most part, you are going through the modules, the journal prompts, the exercises, and the bonus videos. At the time of this recording, there are 13 bonus videos on all things outside of the 4 steps you will go through to really help you navigate narcissistic relationships. There's cord cutting meditations. There's the video on how to stay away, how to realize it's not your fault, how to have compassion without giving them access. Narcissism 101, a narcissist meditation to release them. There's so many different things. But the 4 steps, that's the meat of the program. They are modeled after the 12 steps in a recovery program, but tailored to narcissistic relationships. This is how so many people release the obsession, the addiction. And if you feel it in your heart, your gut, your soul, that you are ready for it, what I am offering you for the next 48 hours if you join is a coupon code to take 20% off. Use the code LOVE20, but make sure it is applied before you submit the payment, because once you submit the payment, we can't go back and enter it in. It has to be done before you hit submit payment. So double check it. I'm going to post the link below. Use the code. It will expire eventually. So don't think too much about it. Don't wait. If you know you feel called to it, come join us. And if you want to do this in a one-on-one setting where you go through the 4 steps with me, and I can coach you on your specific trauma, your specific pain, your specific situation, you will get a weekly call with me one-on-one, as well as unlimited in-between support for a whole month. You can text me, you can voice note me, you can ask any question. That's the meat of it. You get so much support from me as you go through the 4 steps. So DM me if that is something that you are wanting. So if you feel called, come join. I'm here to support you with narcissistic relationships. The answer is available. There is a solution. You can recover from it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that information. I'm so glad that you clicked on this. I'm so glad that you watched it until this point. I am here if you want that further guidance. I also have my Coming Home podcast and my YouTube channel, Dr.Onalee. So there is a ton of free content, free resources. But the actual solution, the process, the steps are laid out in the No More Narcissists program. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be sure to check my DMs with any questions that you might have about joining the program or one-on-one. I look forward to having you in my work, and I will be talking to you soon.